Yo guys, X and we're back with another video. Today we're going to be doing a rogue guide. As you guys can see on the poll that I put out, you guys really wanted to see a guide, so we're going to be getting this out. And basically we're just going to be going over everything that you will need to start playing the sub-rogue class. So I will have indicators and parts of the video where you can just skip, so if you just want to go to a specific part, it'll be down in the video. So you won't have to go and just look for yourself. I'll have certain sections so you guys can just scroll over it and see which ones you guys actually need. But first we are going to be starting off with the gear. Now, the 2 set's really good. The 4 set's pretty good as well. Overall, it's not terrible and it's not bad. So right now I have not the 2 set yet. I got unlucky with the vault. What you want to be going for is mastery and verse, and then your crit as your third stat. So as you can see here is you want to go for really as much mastery. Now you can go with for a verse build as well, but if you're going for a verse build, you're probably not going to be running this legendary here. So what I would recommend is if you're running the Unity and the Finality, you want to be going Mastery Verse. So as you can see on your rings, you're going to be going Mastery. You really just want to go as much Mastery as you can get whenever you're playing this Lego. So for your gear and your stats, basically I am running the Resonator. What this will do is it does about 20k damage, really good actually, especially if you're playing like Rogue Mage or even double D or even like healer DPS. It's just really good. It's probably always a go-to for that. I'd always use the Resonator. And then you also want to buy this ring off the auction house. It's actually pretty cheap. I think it's like 40, and it might be like 20, 30k. So I'd make sure you get this. And then I'd go with the 2 crit weapons for now. They seem really good. They seem like the best option that you can get with Sinful and Cell. And then obviously for your cloak, and really you just want to go mastery here. It's not much of a difference of what it used to be. As you can see, I'm 277 PvP item level. Now for your legendaries, you are going to be running the Unity and Finality. Now I've had a lot of questions about a couple other Legos, so we're going to get to that right now. So people have been saying, or this one right here, the stuff, whatever you want to say it, proclamation, whatever you want to say. Now, this can be good. I think if you're playing this, you just want to be full verse. So instead of going mastery, just go as much verse as you can. So like verse, gems, verse everything. And then you could also switch out this gem for speed. That I've also seen a lot of people do that. It actually makes you a little bit faster, which could be really good. I honestly might switch back to the speed. I kind of like the speed overall, even though you're missing out on a little bit of mastery. But yeah, if you're wanting to play this, I would definitely go with full verse. But then again, if you're playing sub rogue, you're gonna be wanting to do damage, I'd assume. So I would just go with the finality and the unity. So that is your best option, and that is what I'm running. And honestly, you actually hit pretty goddamn hard. So now, out of the legendaries, we're going to be going to the Venthyr legendaries because I've had a few questions. Now, myself, I haven't really tried Venthyr Rogue yet because obviously Kyrian Rogue is probably 10 times better with the Finality Lego, but I'm going to go to the Venthyr regardless. For the Venthyr, I would just probably use the crit like always. The crit and maybe, you can honestly do the crit and maybe Finality. So if you're going for the huge one-shot, if you have the 100% crit with the 25% crit and you use it on your blades, you may be able to hit like a super fat eviscerate. So Mark of the Assassin and Finality could be really good with Venthyr. I'll have to try it out. Now there is one more legendary that you can use. Vanish reduces the remaining cooldowns. Now this could be really good in RBGs. This could be really good for RBGs. As in, if you're queuing RBGs, I'd honestly use it. If you use this on a map with this, so if you use it with this right here, so as you can see, this cooldowns reduces by 33%. Not only that, it makes you do less damage, obviously, but this would be for like capping something. So you'd use this with this legendary right here. And as you can see, you'd literally have pretty goddamn good cooldown usage. But overall, yeah, I would honestly run for damage, and that is my legendaries. So let me know what you guys think about that. On to the talents now. So these can switch up a little bit, but premeditation is always your go-to. On the second row, now if you don't feel comfortable getting your stun, so if you're coming out of stealth and you can't, you're not seeming to get your stuns off. So like if you're getting if you're getting auto attacked or AoE'd out, and then all the time, or you're not used to just going in quick and getting it done. Like if you're not used to shadow dancing and then just stunning, I definitely run subterfuge until you get used to that. Because what this will do is it's basically like assassination, where you can come out and you'll have time before you have to, come out. So it's just really good. Now you do miss out on a little bit of damage because you're missing the 20% faster, and your abilities do 12% more damage. But overall, it doesn't really matter. I'd say if you're more skillful, I could use Night Stalker. But in general, if you're just trying to play, if you're still learning and all that stuff, or especially in threes, Subterfuge is still really good. I definitely use Subterfuge. Now for your third row, 7-second Kidney. This comes in really good handy when facing druids. This is usually used when you're playing with a holy priest or a healer, or you're playing threes and you're facing like a wrestler druid. So what this allows you to do is get your combo points up to 7. So we're gonna do that. So it's 6 seconds to keep you out of combat. So what you're gonna do is I have a macro to stop me from auto attacking, as you can see. So what you'll do is you'll Kidney, stop auto attacking, and then what you're gonna do is you can shadow dance and then sap him. So as you can see, I can sap. So you'd be able to sap there, and that's what that's used for. So that you can switch in between. I'd say, like I said, if you're playing with a Holy Priest, always deeper strat. Unless you're facing like Rogue Mage, you don't really need it because Rogue Mage games are usually over quick versus Holy Priest Rogue. It's either they play bad and you win, or you just outplay them, all that good stuff. But usually I'm playing Mark for Death. Now for your fourth row, this did get nerfed. Um, so in arena it's only 1%, so it's pretty honestly garbage. So usually your go-to is going to be, if you're playing with a healer, you can play elusiveness, and if you're playing versus double DPS, cheat that's always going to be your go-to. So like versus rogue mage, any double DPS, any rogue usually you can play cheat death. It's just really good. It'll save you like 9 out of the 10 times that you get doled or something. So honestly, it just depends on what you're playing with. Now, for this row, this will always be the same. Prey on the Wake, just go instantly to this. For the next row, this can change. As you can see in RBGs versus tanks, I run one dance, which is Dark Shadows, and what this will do is allow you to basically open on somebody and do unhealable damage. And I only use it versus tanks, obviously, so if I'm on like Warsong Glutch or something, and I'm doing RBGs, I use it, but other than that, I definitely enveloping shadows. You get 2 shadow dances, you really need it. And then for your next row, you're just always using Master of the Shadows. Now for your PvP talents, this can change as well. You'll always usually use Smoke Bomb. Now Shadowy Dole can be used differently. Now if you know that you're not really good using Shadowy Dole, you could use tricks with disarm. So if you're playing with a rogue mage or something like that, or maybe if you're just not used to using Shadowy Duel and you're just trying to get used to rogue still, maneuverability and then just this would be fine. And if you're not facing if you're just facing a caster, you can honestly just run tricks. What this will do is you'll be able to trick your teammate and give him extra damage. So really my go-to is most likely this. It usually always comes down to these. And then when I'm not facing a cat or something I can melee, I usually run tricks or run maneuverability depending on what I'm facing. And that is for your talents. Now we're going to be going on to the conduits. The conduits, really guys, they're the same as much of the. It's really a new season. They didn't really add anything new, but rest setup, you're always your go-to, and I would always go this way down the row because file. If you pre this, so what this will do is if I pre-do this, it'll heal me over time. So let's say you're at like 95% and you see a guy coming to kidney you, or your healer just got CC'd. If you click that file, or as you can see, let me take some damage here. Bring you up the air, take some damage. So let's say I'm fixing to get kidneyed, so I get kidneyed and I pre-heal. So as you can see, I'm getting healed over time, which is really good because it lasts for a decent amount of time. So I'd always go with that row. This row is really good. Recuperated. This is actually really good because over time this will heal you for a lot. As long as you have slice and dice up, which is really easy, honestly. If you're just like getting combo points and you're fixing to run, just get your combo points and then slice and dice. 35 seconds is plenty of time for you to have that up and get some heals out of it. So it's really good. I would use that. Honestly, it's in between. You can use this or you can use condensed, but I honestly think this is way better. Now you're going to be going with deeper daggers always. It's just really good. Let's be honest. Cloaked in the shadows. It's always you need it. If you're playing a rogue class and you don't have this, you're playing rogue wrong. Even though it's kind of bad, it's not bad because you come out of stealth anyway. But you definitely still need it. You still get those 4 seconds of in stealth. Plan execution. This will just make your damage way better. So you want this, and then quick decisions. You can either be going quick or prepared. Quick will allow you to basically step from super far away. So when you see me step from like all the way from here, as you can see, it's so far, so I can get them kidneys on the druids, all that good stuff. So that is your conduits, and that's basically much it with the conduits. Now, with your rotation, this is basically the same thing as it's always been. Now, the difference between now is you have this Lego, so if you want to play it really, good, what I like to do is before I go, I get the debuff. So as you can see, I have my debuff there, which gives me the eviscerate. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going with a cheap shot going this time. So we're going to be cheap shot, do our shadow dance, which is our mini macro, which is symbols and shadow dance, and to a echo and to an eviscerate, which will proc our finality. So as you can see, we'll hit a big fat old big dam. So big eviscerate, eviscerate will restun them, restun again, hit the blue dot, and then eviscerate. And as you can see, it's pretty big dam. Your main thing is doing all of that fast, so if I wasn't actually talking all that stuff, you would have got the restun in time. So really, you really just want a cheap shot, mini go, echoing, eviscerate, mark for death, eviscerate, cheap shot, eviscerate. So then you don't space your last cheap shot, obviously. Now, you do not want to be using blades with a trinket. What this means is I don't want to use this and my blades on the same go. Now you can if you're playing with a mage. Now if you're playing with a mage, your mage busts on the first go. If you smoke bomb, double trinket. So if your mage uses his resonator, and so do you, and then you also have blades with the trinket, you're basically gonna one-shot them. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna get our eviscerate again. So what we're gonna be doing is we're actually gonna vanish for this. So we're gonna use blades here, and this will blades will look. It's basically the same thing. So you're going to cheap shot. Use your damage. We're actually going to use our trinket here too. As you can see, we don't space the stun. We're going to restun and be done. As you can see, that is basically the rotation whenever you use both of those. Basically, whenever I smoke bomb and I use both of those, that's what that's going to be. So that's the cheap shot version. That'll always be your cheap shot, even without blades. You'll always do it. You'll always cheap shot into your mini go or even your big go. Anytime you cheap shot, just do that exact rotation as you just saw there. Now, if you mark for, let's say you get your combo points beforehand, which is really what you're supposed to do. So we got to mark, so what we're going to do is kidney him. And at this point, what you're going to be doing is we're actually going to get our eviscerate beforehand. So we got our eviscerate stack. You always want to have that stack. It's just really good to have. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to kidney, mini go, use our echoing, mark for death, shadow strike, wait the 1 second, cheap shot, eviscerate, cheap shot, and then shadow strike. Or, just beat them. And after that, your go is basically done. So that is the kidney version. Like I said, it's the same thing on the mini go with the big go. So what the big go is shadow dance. It's just all your offensive cooldowns. Not much more to it. And basically, that is really all there is to the rotation. Overall, it's not that hard. If you see my videos, which I will add the add-on that shows when I'm clicking so you guys can follow along. So I'll have the add-on that sits around right here that shows you guys exactly what I press when I press it and all that good stuff. Now obviously, if I really wanted to make a full in guide on all this stuff, it would take a decent amount of time. But overall, your macros are still the same. Which your big go or your mini go would just be cast symbols and you know, shadow dance, and then your big go would just be everything else. So you just add that and then put it there. And that is basically it. So I will see you guys in the next video. Peace, peace.